This man, covered in graffiti, is someone who loves skateboarding. During the day, he turns into a kind flower vendor, but just a few days ago, he lost a skateboarding competition to a complete beginner. This incident quickly gained a lot of attention online, and everyone was curious about the identity of this beginner. However, no one could guess that Snow was actually a professional snowboarder. Now, Snow no longer straps his feet to the skateboard, but every time he tries to skate, he ends up falling. Snow is a completely different person from the one people talk about online, but no matter how many times he falls, he always gets back up. To practice the basic skateboarding trick, the pig jump, he continues to get on the skateboard and try again. Although snowboards can also perform a pig jump, it's easier with the feet strapped to the board, and even beginners can manage it. However, with a skateboard, the feet are not strapped to the board, and it takes at least 3 months of practice to learn the pig jump. Mastering this basic trick is essential for anyone serious about skateboarding. When Snow began learning, it was challenging, as he had 15 years of experience with snowboarding. However, he was still determined to master the skateboarding trick. Then, Reki came up with an idea for a skateboard that could easily slide on and off. This design would be a big help to Snow, and although such skateboards were hard to find on the market, Reki had the tools to make one. He quickly crafted a custom skateboard for Snow, but Snow still struggled to master the trick. So, they started an intense training routine, practicing even if they only had 10 minutes between classes. Snow would sneakily watch videos to learn new techniques during class. Every evening, after school, Snow would practice until sunset before heading home. He fell countless times, his body covered in bruises, but finally, he managed his first successful pig jump. While he didn't land perfectly, Snow would never forget that feeling. The trick that takes most people 3 months to master, Snow learned in just 2 weeks. Reki proudly told the skate shop owner the good news, and soon a man came to the shop. He was MIYA, a candidate for the national team. MIYA immediately challenged them to a race. While Reki felt shy, Snow wasn't interested in the competition at first, but MIYA was eager to hear the sound of his rank increasing and mentioned the S-race venue. Without considering MIYA's abilities, Snow accepted the challenge. Using MIYA's reputation, they headed to the race venue. On the way there, MIYA suddenly suggested a warm-up race. Reki, irritated by MIYA's arrogance, quickly followed him. MIYA performed a board spin as soon as Reki got close, and Reki tried to do the same, but he only managed half the move before tripping and falling. MIYA then demonstrated an outer board 180-degree flip, spinning the board 180 degrees and landing it perfectly. To not be shown up, Reki tried again, but this time, he failed and fell along with the board. Snow, determined, noticed that MIYA's speed on flat ground was faster than his own. He decided to try to pass MIYA on a curve. Snow entered the bend at top speed, but just as he was about to overtake MIYA, the strap holding his feet to the skateboard snapped. Snow fell, but MIYA was disappointed and said they should get better boards before racing again. He didn't want to be accused of bullying a beginner. MIYA, known as the strongest middle school skateboarder, viewed everyone else as beneath him and was convinced he could defeat anyone, even the final boss. His reputation earned him many followers, and he would often be teased by his peers during interviews. However, MIYA's exceptional skills meant that no one had ever successfully teased him, which only made people like him more. In a bold move, MIYA challenged Snow to a race, and Snow, knowing MIYA was skilled, agreed. Before the race started, MIYA made a playful bet, saying if he lost, he'd act like a cat or a dog. This light-hearted wager seemed silly, but MIYA's skill allowed him to say it with confidence. Everyone expected the match to be a one-sided affair, but as soon as the race started, Snow used his snowboarder's advantage to pull off a flip in mid-air using the slope, overtaking MIYA in an instant. Snow, now using an upgraded version of a foot-secured skateboard with wheels that Reki had modified,